The Double Switch by Carole Neuok, Chapter 8. Sparks bounced from the crackling fire. Sam was already playing his guitar and singing one of my favorites, Start a Fire, by Unspoken. Several people joined in, and I wasn't going to be shy. I'd had a rough day, and singing along to Christian music relaxed me. Amy came out of our camper with my guitar and her keyboard. I hadn't planned on performing. I soon discovered that she had volunteered us both. I wasn't about to complain. I loved to have the chance to play my guitar. Once Sam was done, we were up. The first song that we did was Who Will Love Me From Me. It is a J.J. Heller song that I loved. Amy did an amazing job singing it. The next song was Who You Are. This was another unspoken song, and the words spoke to me even as I sang them. Next, Amy was up with You Are Loved. I know she picked this song just for me. I loved it, and it was just what I needed to hear. Finally, we gave the song Reason a try. It was the new one by Unspoken that we had just learned the previous evening. The crowd seemed to enjoy it as much as we enjoyed performing it. I felt so much better after performing. I still was who I always was, only now I had sisters, and they were Christians, and they were musicians, and someday soon I would meet them, and if I was lucky, we could perform together. The evening continued with even more music. This was quite a talented group of people. Almost everyone here played one instrument or another. By then the word had spread that I was not Kelsey, I just looked like her. A lot like her. We had not done a DNA test, and nobody knew how much my brothers looked like Kyle. So far, everyone just thought I looked like her. From then on, I started to look at my whole dilemma as something positive. I had a lot to look forward to in the near future. It was too bad that I hadn't been raised with them. But there was no use in dwelling on what did or didn't happen in the past. I was going to do everything in my power to meet them someday. Since my sisters were also musicians, I prayed that in the future there would be a chance for us to perform together, or at least jam together. Tomorrow I was going to meet the man who had taken my place in what I now believed was my biological family. Sam had called Kyle and asked what hospital he had been born in. As it turned out, we were born at the same hospital on the same day. That was no surprise. I had so many questions. There was the obvious one. How were we switched? But I doubted we would ever find the answer to that one. And another one of them being, why did his parents have their babies in Eagle River when they were from the Milwaukee area? While we were watching the music, Sam brought out his computer and showed me Amy's Facebook page. I desperately wanted to meet this lady, who is my biological identical twin. That would have to wait, since she was out of the country. I had to be content to learn all that I could about her. Kelsey was a nurse, just as Emily's friends had said. Unlike me, she was married, and she had 5 children. The youngest were identical twin girls like us. Although her 3 boys looked more like their father, they each resembled her a bit too. We both had the same middle name. I was named for my grandma Marie. She was the short one that I supposedly resembled. Although I had seen pictures of her, I didn't see any resemblance. Kelsey's dog was named Daisy, just like my dog, only she had a West Highland White Terrier. My Daisy was a Maltese. She was on a worship team like I was. I put on my headphones and watched video after video of her performing with her team. We performed many of the same songs. I couldn't wait to do a duet with her. Her sisters, our sisters, also had children. Katie was a doctor like our mother and father had been. She had 2 boys. Christy was a physician's assistant, and she had 3 girls. 2 of them had already made her a grandma. Kyle was a psychology professor at a nearby college. He had 5 children. The youngest one, Robbie, was only 6. He had Down syndrome. Kyle had lost his wife Melanie to breast cancer 5 years ago. Amy and I had been invited to join Sam and his friends for lunch so that I could get acquainted with Kyle. He still had not been told. He was planning to arrive around 10 a.m., and Sam planned to tell him then. I was a bit nervous about meeting him, and I have to admit that I was just a bit jealous that he had been able to grow up with my biological family, and that he had been able to grow up in a Christian home in the city. Well, I had to grow up on a farm. I realized that life was what it was, and I knew better than to dwell on things that I had no control over. After I gave Sam his computer back, I went to the food table to grab some snacks. While I was there, a lady came up and introduced herself. "Lindsay, my name is Bonnie. I just wanted to tell you how much I enjoyed your performance. You have such a lovely voice." "Thank you, Bonnie. That's so kind of you to say. It's kind of a coincidence that you ended up camping in this area. Most everyone here is from Faith Christian Church. We get this section every year. From what I heard, a few families had to cancel to go on a mission trip, and our spot became available just when we needed it. I'm glad that you were able to join us." "So am I. I have met so many great people here. If I lived closer, I would have to join your church. I have to say that you look so much like someone who is on one of the worship teams there." "So I have heard. I hope to visit sometime and meet her. Do you know her very well?" "Not really. I am single, and most of the people that I know from church are in the singles group. It is a huge church. There are about 2,000 people who attend each of the 3 weekly services. I can't imagine what that must be like. I thought our church was big. We have about 300 at our 2 weekly services. We have about that many who attend our singles meetings. We have one group that meets on Friday evenings and another who meet on Sunday mornings. Mostly the same people are in each group. We get about 20 people at our Friday night group. That must be nice and cozy. That big group can be rather intimidating at times," Bonnie said. "We never have events like this, though. We do have plenty of things to do in our area, with Summerfest on the lake, State Fair, and lots of church festivals. Nothing as amazing as Life Fest." "You are so talented. Are you on a worship team?" "No, but I do play in a band that plays secular music." "Do you have a schedule of your upcoming performances?" "My friend Amy and I are planning a short trip to the area, and I would love to see you perform again." "I hope that you are planning to attend our church while you are there. You just have to see that lady that looks like you." "That is one of the things we plan to do. We want to go to Summerfest and State Fair, too. I hear that Casting Crowns is going to be at State Fair this year." "We have a large group from church going to that. I think that Sam is the one arranging it all, in case you're interested in joining us." "Thank you. That would be so much more fun to be with a large group." All too soon, we were calling it a night. I didn't want the night to end, but tomorrow there would be more concerts on the grandstand, and my all-time favorite, Danny Goki, was going to be there. And from what I understood, there would be another evening of music with my newfound friends. I couldn't wait. Thank you for reading this chapter of my book, The Double Switch. I hope that you enjoyed it. If so, please click on the like button. It will also help you to mark the spot where you left off. When you come back to the book, just look for the last chapter that you liked, and you will know which chapter you read last. Please click on the subscribe button and the bell so that you can be informed each time a new chapter or story is uploaded. God bless. Carole Neuok.